my biggest challenge for me, it was at first that I had cancer. I mean, I do have cancer. I have stage 4 prostate cancer, but that was 4 years ago. You know, and now God is still using me. And so if he can still use me, and I know he's using me, then my faith is even stronger now today than definitely it was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Not because he's just sustained me, but because I know that he has something still for me to do while I'm still here on this earth. And so that to me is a huge blessing. But again, it started with my foundation. And then as I grow from a child to an adult now, I know who my father is. And so now that I rely on his strength to get me through, no matter what I'm going through, it don't even matter to me. Let's do it.
Do you think anything is possible inside of Sin City, Las Vegas? I believe what God is doing is that he's bringing people together under the spirit of unity to display that anything and everything is possible through him. This is Las Vegas United. Well, hello and welcome to Las Vegas United. I'm your host, Dr. Presley, and I want to welcome each and every single last one of you. If you're watching from King 17, we welcome you. If you're watching from YouTube, we welcome. Now, here's the part. If you're watching from YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell so that way whenever we go live, whenever something is posted, you get notified so you know what's going on inside of your city. And also, too, do you want to know what's going on inside of your city at your fingertips? You can go ahead and download our CTN app so that way you know what's going on inside of your city at just a touch of your fingers. Hey, speaking of your city, I have a special guest with me today. Man, I've known this man for some time now. I had an opportunity to serve with him as well. He is one of our senior chaplains here inside of Las Vegas. Can you help me welcome Senior Chaplain Michael Thrower? What's going on, sir?
Hey, everything's everything.
He said, that's that smooth stuff right there. Everything's everything, man.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I love it. So here's the part. I know you, but our viewers may not know you. I just want to take a few moments to just let them know who is Michael Thrower.
Well, first and foremost, obviously, I'm a child of God.
Come on.
But I was born and raised here in Las Vegas. I went to school on the Indian Reservation for a couple years after I graduated from high school. Clark High School, best high school in Vegas.
Wait a minute.
Hey, Vegas. I had to throw that out there. Put the plug in. Yeah, I went to school on Indian Reservation for a couple years and transferred out to Hawaii, played ball for University of Hawaii Hilo.
Come on.
And lived there for a little bit, got my bachelor's business administration, and came back to Vegas. And, did a few things. And now, just to bring it up to speed for today, I work for the Clark County School District. Been there for 27 years. I can tell you all about my ministry work and everything as we go along. But it's, done a lot here in Vegas and continue to just be encouraged in a lot of stuff that I do.
And speaking about as far as like coming along in Vegas and everything, man, can you just go ahead and say, like, hey, just give us a quick, like, a snapshot of what it looked like kind of growing up and then finding your faith in the midst of all of it.
Well, growing up in Vegas was a lot different. It was a lot drier when I was a kid. I mean, you drove on the highway and basically you were dodging tumbleweeds and stuff, I mean, well, obviously we don't have them now, but man, I mean, people would dodge these tumbleweeds in the middle of the street, get into accidents, hit other cars and everything. Man. Yeah, it was a lot different. But now with all of the different hotels that have come up and the more traffic, and now the areas that I used to see that was just nothing but desert is all full of businesses and everything. So Vegas is constantly growing, constantly expanding. So it's really cool to see how it was when I was a kid, and now to see and understand a lot of things that are happening in Vegas now that I'm older. But basically, it's just a booming business where we do a lot of conventions, and so doing conventions and doing a lot of other ministries here in Vegas. The opportunity is there, again, to serve and to serve others. So
yeah. It's interesting, right? Because like you said, you're from here, right? You know what it was like then. You know what it's like now, right? But so here's a question for you: someone that's a Las Vegas native, if you will, someone that's been here. What is something that you can tell them in regards to your story of faith? What is it that you can encourage them about in regards to being here in Vegas, growing up in Vegas, and probably as for some people not leaving Vegas, right?
Right.
But growing up here and and finding faith and then walking in that. What is something that you could tell somebody from your story that could actually help them, encourage them?
When you're growing up, you don't understand everything that's happening around you just yet. You know, just like our best teacher is our experience, right? So the things that we go through. So growing up here in Vegas, segregation was big, and there was a lot of we didn't like people just because of the color of their skin. So basically, growing up, it was like if you were a different color of skin than I was, then we can't be friends, you know. And so that changed for me personally. So I look at my walk. I was that way. I grew up by Jim Bridger High School. I'm Jim Bridger Middle School. So I grew up in that area. So now people think, you know, it's Donna Street right over there. So I grew up in that area. So it really wasn't as bad, but, you know, we didn't have all the gangs that we had back then either. So that grew. And so as we moved across town, we were kind of like the Jeffersons. So we moved on up. So we moved across town, and I saw that people of different color were having the same issues that we were having. And that was a shock to me. But I also saw that, you know, the different cultures, you know, that were happening. And so I think I started to respect the culture a lot more, respect the different races as I moved to the other side of town. So and was it easy? No, it wasn't easy, you know, because, you know, you just did some things as a kid that you wish you hadn't done. And by the grace of God, you're still here today, you know. And so when we all went to Second Baptist Church, I've been in Second Baptist Church since I was a kid, still a member of Second Baptist Church. When we grew up in Second Baptist Church, you know, the culture that's in that church, the history that's in that church, the teachings that's in that church actually prepared me for the things that I'm doing today. And so when I look back at how far I've actually come as a man today, I realized that my foundation was set. So no, it didn't matter if I went to a Indian reservation or to Hawaii. My foundation was set. And so the way I look at Vegas now is like a lot of kids are going out there and their foundations aren't set. And because their foundations aren't set, when they go out there in the world and what happens, they get turned away from God because of not having a solid foundation. And basically we're sending them out there naked and not being covered by the whole armor of God. And so my goal has always been, now make sure you're covered.
Come on.
You know, make sure that you do understand who God is, know what he's done, and know what he's going to do.
Right.
And not just by songs or by anything, but by truly understanding, getting the root. Like I said, getting the root message of understanding who he is, what he's done, and be able to share who he is in a way that wins souls to Christ.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
I love what you said. You said it's about your foundation.
Yes.
You know, we're sending children out there, our children out there, like you said, naked, unclothed. They don't even know about the armor, right? Right. And what I love about it is like you're like, hey, this is what I grew up in. Right. I was taught this from my youth, right?
Right.
And like you said, as you've gone through your life, you're like, everything has been from this one place,
right? From
the place of foundation,
right?
Right. So here's a question for you. I have a question because you're inside of the school district as well,
right?
So you're seeing a lot of things and stuff like that. What is something that you can tell a parent right now that about helping them, encouraging them to say, hey, this is going to be beneficial, setting a foundation for your children because of what you know inside the school system. What is it? Is there something that you can encourage a parent on right now as far as a foundation?
Well, really just staying involved with what your child is going through. Each child is different. Each child has different passions, and each child has different gifts, and so I would trust what the teacher is saying, because the teacher is there a long time with your child. And I've seen a lot of parents come into school and say, that's not my child. My child would never do that. But if you tape your child is doing some things that they shouldn't be doing. And so trust the teacher and really stay involved in what's happening in their class. Yeah. Don't just say, okay, hey, how was school today? Fine, and then let them go. No, sit them down. Make sure you're sitting down and having dinner with them at the table, not in front of the TV, and let's talk about some things. And I think that's part of our challenge. A lot of parents aren't sitting down and talking with their kid and getting involved in their lives and letting them know that they actually really care about what they're going through. And I had that, I mean, my mom, my dad, they were on top of us. They knew what kind of grades to do. I mean, I wasn't getting all A's, but I was doing my best.
Right.
And I think that's the thing. As long as you're giving it your best, then everything will be all right, no matter how it turns out. Just give it your best. That's all.
Yeah.
My mom used to tell me, even when I went to college, I was on an Indian reservation for a couple of years. My first year, actually my first 6 months there, I was ready to come back home. I'm a young man from Vegas, so everything was 24 hours. We still had, Vegas was really crazy back then.
Yeah.
So we still had a lot of stuff going on, so there was always something happening. It was a 24-hour town. And here I go to a place where, I mean, basically the Lord put me in a place where I was shut down from all of that. And so everything shut down at 3 o'clock. And there was nothing to do. And so what am I going to do? I'm a guy, I'm listening to Penny Lover, looking out the window. So those of you that don't know Penny Lover with Lionel Richie back in the day, I'm singing Penny Lover out the window. And there's cows walking by the window, in the snow. And so to have all these things happen to me, I'm like, I'm coming home. But my mom told me something that was so precious that I stick with today. She said, you know what? Stay another semester. And if you don't like it, come home. Just stay a little longer. Because she knew something that I didn't know. Because I hadn't had the experience of being on my own. And so this is when I say when your parent is really involved with your life, they know that there are some challenges, there are some things that you need to go through by yourself in order to make it in this world today. And so because of that, I stayed in school, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because now anytime I get involved in anything that's a challenge, I'm pressing through it, no matter what, because I think God always has something better for us, but he needs us to go through some things in order to appreciate how far he's actually brought us. So everything that I've gone through, every challenge I've gone through, I now appreciate it so much. Not that I would choose my challenges, because if I chose my challenges, they'd be real easy. Yeah. Real easy. Yeah. Like, Lord, don't give me,
It's like a boulder? No, just give me a pebble. I'm going to step right over that.
Step right over it. Yeah.
Victory.
Yeah. So don't choose my challenges, but I address my challenges, in a positive way.
I like that. You said I don't choose my challenges, but I address them.
Right.
Yeah, and I love that too, because you said from the foundation, because your mom was like, hey, stay one more semester. Yeah. Give it a little bit more time. And if that time that you're giving it is still a no, then come on home. Yeah. And it's like each time, it's like you probably said it less and less, to where it's like she didn't have to address it more and more each time. I love that. And I think that's, like you said, that's the part that's missing is the encouragement of parents to our children, right? It's like, hey, I know you want to give up. And I think it's one of those deals. I would say today we're more likely to let our children give up than to be like, keep going.
Yeah.
Than to keep going. And so here's another deal too. So you have the positivity aspect of parenting. What did it look like for you as a child receiving faith from your parents as well?
Well, it was more observant. So I really didn't know everything about my faith as a child. Okay. And a lot of times, when you're growing up, you just do what everybody else do. Yep. And they start singing, you start singing. They start clapping,
don't even know the words.
Don't even know the words. You can hum it, right? I mean, I was a good hummer, But as you got older, you start listening to the words, and you realize words are important, And so even with the words in songs today, so there's a lot of worldly music out there that you listen to, and if you listen to the words, you'd be like, wait a minute, what did he just say?
What did I just say?
What did I? Yeah, I mean, the beat is nice and it's bumping, but wait a minute, the words are important, because that's what I'm connecting myself to. Come on. And so, again, just connecting yourself with the right words, with the right people at the right time, and again, God is our Father. Come on. So he's our best teacher, right? So as he continues to take us through certain situations and stuff, our challenge as an adult now is, are you willing to go through it? Are you willing to allow somebody to talk about you, to whatever, beat on you, to whatever, whatever they're doing against you, are you allowing yourself to go through it? Are you willing to go through divorce? Are you willing to go through, I'm trying to think of a number of things that we go through as challenge, loss of property, loss of home, loss of a child. We wouldn't choose that, but if we went through it, are we still going to trust God in those moments? And so that's where your faith usually lies, and that's where my faith lies. Like, just, hey, whatever it is, God. I mean, my biggest challenge for me, it was at first that I had cancer. I mean, I do have cancer. I have stage 4 prostate cancer, but that was 4 years ago. And now God is still using me. And so if he can still use me, and I know he's using me, then my faith is even stronger now today than definitely it was 4 years ago. Not because he's just sustained me, but because I know that he has something still for me to do while I'm still here on this earth. And so that to me is a huge blessing. But again, it started with my foundation. And then as I grow from a child to an adult now, I know who my Father is. And so now that I rely on his strength to get me through, no matter what I'm going through, it don't even matter to me. Let's do it. I can look at my doctor today. When he first told me that I had stage 4 prostate cancer, he was downtrodden. He was like, and he just stopped, and he just was just waiting for me to say something. All I said was, "What's next? What I got to do?" And now I look at him and I see him smiling every time I come in. He said, "Man, yeah, you are being blessed." I said, "Yeah, it is, God, because it ain't me. I ain't doing nothing different. I'm still just doing his will, his way every day of my life. But he is the one that's directing my path." So yeah, I mean, I see the joy on his heart. I see, and I didn't see that before. So I think that's part of that process, that you have to wait and see. And some of us, we just don't have patience, man. We want the right now, God. We want the right now, God. And sometimes you don't need the right now, God. You need and again, one thing I've learned about my walk with Christ is that my prayers have already been answered. You ask your prayer today, God has already answered your prayer. Why? Because he's irrespective of time. Time don't hold him back. He's already looked at what you needed, how you need it, and when it's going to hit you. He already knows. We don't know past this moment right now. I don't know if I'm going to make it home. But I have faith in God that if I don't, I'm still going to be all right. If I do, I'm still going to be all right. Yeah.
Man, I love that, bro. It's just one of those deals where, like you said, we are not accustomed. So many of us don't choose to be like, what's next? What's next to come? We're like, what? This trial, this tribulation, I don't want this. But I mean, even James said, hey, count it all joy that you're going through persecution. Like, count it as joy. Why? Because you being tested produces perseverance. It's like it's like if you never had someone help you build your foundation, right, on positivity and saying, hey, you know what? Yeah, I know you want to give up. I know that's a normal thing. But just stick it out a little bit longer. Right. You think from that now you're like, hey, you know what? I didn't really know about faith. I just kind of watched everybody else do this thing, and they would be like talking about how good God is and what God did is right. You're like, okay, yeah, obviously God is a man that's always on time, never late. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't be late if you operate outside of time. Just saying, right? So you think it's like, okay, cool, no problem. And then as you're going through things, you're like, all that stuff makes sense right now.
Because count all joy is not about counting that you are being persecuted that's not the joy. Nobody's like going through that. Right. Count all joy, understanding that it is about your walk with Christ and who he is. So you know already what he's going to do. Like I said, is looking at God and seeing who he is, what he's done, and will he continue to do in your life. And I look at how I got to being a part of Adopt a Cop because when I was in my church, I started a mentor program, and when I did the mentor program, it got dropped off the books for the church. So I had a choice to keep doing it or let it go to the wayside. But my heart was set on mentoring youth, so I continued to mentor youth, and I started my own organization. And when I started my own organization to be a branch of the church, then that branch of the church, now I'm starting to work with kids who have one or both parents incarcerated. And so when I started working with the kids, one or both incarcerated, they started telling me how they don't like officers and how they had a challenge working with officers. And so through that challenge, I'm like, well, wait a minute, how can I help them in this aspect of what we're
To see
doing with
things
Angel
differently.
Tree.
Yeah,
Because it was
yeah.
through Angel Tree that I started working with them. So I started working with the parents. And so now I'm like, wait a minute, it needs to be more rounded because, again, if we're going to help someone, mind, body, soul, and spirit, it has to be in all aspects of their life. And so whether it's financial and physical and everything, right? So I started working with the officers then. So I started working with the kids, to the parents, and the officers. And now we're more rounded in what we do. And so now we have those Adopt a Cop started because of me going to a chaplain conference, and there was a vendor that was there, and I was like, man, that sounds cool. Adopt a Cop? What do you got to do? Pray for him. Pray for him. Oh, sign me up. And I said, well, is there a chapter here in Nevada? And they were like, no. I said, well, you got one now. And we started it back in 2017. In 3 years, we became the largest chapter in the United States. 3 years. And so the guy who started it, Sergeant Ken Rochelle, the Detroit Police Department, he asked me, he said, what are you doing out there in Vegas? Because that's Sin City. What do you do in Vegas to get people starting to pray for your officers? I said, nothing. We just focus on prayer. We don't get involved in anything else, nothing political. We just focus on praying. One officer, one day at a time, one prayer partner for spiritual life. That's it. There's nothing more to it. We stick with what we were supposed to be doing, and we grew just because of that. Yeah. And so now we are the largest in the United States, and now the home office is here. And now... And I'll tell you, let me tell you one more thing about how good God is. And so after I started that, I never go into business with people. I'll work with you, I'll partner with you, but I haven't gone in business with someone, meaning that I put my name on the check and you put your name on the check, and we good.
Right.
So Ken Rochelle was one person that I did not have a problem with doing that with. I trusted the man. We talked and we prayed together and everything. But after he died, after we started the organization, he died shortly thereafter, and then I had a choice to make. What am I going to do now?
Right.
And the Lord gave me a vision of what I need to be doing and continue to do the work that He's already put me on path for. So I became the CEO of Adopt a Cop Corporation, and so now I'm the CEO of Adopt a Cop Corporation all over the United States. And I remember a woman in my church many years ago. She told me, she said, one day, Brother Thor, you're going to have a ministry that's not going to be held up by walls. It's going to go beyond the walls. And I said, yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, whatever. I'm not a pastor. I ain't going to do it. No, I'm not talking about that. Just one day. And that one day happened, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. It's like that revelation that you get about something that was told to you a while ago, and now here it is right in front of your face, and you're wondering, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Only God, because it couldn't have been anything that you did. You have to give it to God.
Come on.
Yeah, you can do it in your own strength. So so we've been doing this now for a few years now, and it's growing. We're doing a lot of big things. We're doing our first big conference here with all of the chapters all over the United States in October. Okay. And we're calling it a family reunion. We're not calling it a conference.
Ooh, I like that.
It's called a family reunion because we're bringing in the officers, we're bringing in the different chapters, we're bringing in the local business owners, and obviously we're bringing in the prayer partners, and we're bringing in the first responders. So we're going to do it all. So God is good.
Yes, He is. Yeah, and He's sustaining you through it all.
Through it all.
You know what I'm saying? And like you said, when I wake up in the morning, I'm still here. God's not done with me yet, which means I'm not done yet.
Right. And if I'm real with you, if I'm being real with you, it's not easy.
I'm sure.
A lot of times people think that because you're doing so much good work, in which you do a lot of good work in the community yourself, for yourself, it's not easy.
It's not.
But we got the strength of the Holy Spirit to help us get through. And we may look easy to some other people. Let me tell you, we go through some stuff.
Yeah, boy, inside we be like, "Whoo, boy, if you only knew.
If you
only knew the tiredness, the weariness, how I need rest, like how I have some doubt. Right. If you only knew. Right. But there's one thing that we do not let go of. Is that God is in control. God will see us through, and God will bring us through. That's the one thing that we do know.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we have that foundational truth that we never leave from. You know, and you think anything that we go through does not break up
That's right.
the truth that God has set in place.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So I love that, bro. So okay, so now Adopt a Cop is here. You're the CEO of it. You're overseeing it. Let me ask you a question. We have a few moments left.
Okay.
What is Adopt a Cop? What is that?
So Adopt a Cop is that we assign one prayer partner to every officer in every state. Here in Las Vegas, Nevada, we assign one prayer partner to every officer in every command station that we can find. And so what do we do? Besides, I mean, it depends on the officer. If they want to be if they want to contact us by phone, if they want to be contacted by email, we'll contact them once or twice a month, send them a word of encouragement, and that's it. Short and to the point.
Yeah.
Not trying to change anybody's religion or anything like that. It's just word of encouragement. And then we do different kind of rewards that we give out from the community because we get the community involved.
Yes.
So from different businesses, they donate stuff to us, and then we randomly give it out to our officers and also to our prayer partners. But we find ways to be able to support them in the things that they do all the time. So we have the light of the community, which we give out our lanterns to. So we'll pick a random officer, a random prayer partner, and a random business partner that we do it with every month. You know, just to show them that we care about them and that we appreciate them for being a light in the community.
Oh no, I love that. I love that. And so that's Adopt a Cop. So here's a question.
Yes.
In our last closing moments here is, how does someone either be part of or partner with you in regards to Adopt a Cop? How does one become a partner or, once again, be part of?
So if you're not in Nevada, you can go on to our Adopt a Cop adopt-a-cop.org, and you can sign up on our website.
Okay.
That's our national website. If you're locally here in Las Vegas, just go to adoptacopnevada.org. Adoptacopnevada.org. And when you go on there, just go underneath membership, and if you're a prayer partner, if you're an officer, just sign up right there, and then I'll get your information and I'll contact you, welcome you to the family. Right. And again, we don't do it because officers actually join. We actually pray for them no matter what, because that's what we're called to do. We're called to pray for those who have authority over us.
Yes.
So we do give them a coin. We give them a challenge coin for joining us, so that way they understand they can't do it without us, and we can't do it without them.
Come on.
Yeah, but love doing it. Yeah. So if you can't get that information online, you got questions, my number's right there, 702-290-7086, 702-290-7086.
Come on, man. But that's the radio right there.
Yeah, I gotta let you know that's where we at. Call me. I may not call you. I might not pick up, but I will call you back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much. Hey, Senior Chaplain Michael, thank you for coming up on here and letting us know about Adopt a Cop. Also, too, some great financial nuggets as well. So, but thank you once again, bro. I love you so much. And man, I'll be praying for you that the Lord continues to sustain you in what it is that He has you doing, and just even much more in just life itself.
And I appreciate you just having me on the show and inviting me. And it's always good to see you, brother. Always good to see you smile.
Oh man,
and
look,
hear you laugh, brother.
Oh man, look, when you smile, you make me smile. That's all I gotta say. Like, dead serious, man. But once again, thank you so much for joining in with us. And also, too, we want to thank you guys for joining in as well. Once again, if you're looking to pray for our officers, you can go ahead and make sure you go to the Adopt a Cop and get all the information and even much more. Why would we not want to pray for those individuals that are protecting our city, right? So that's what we want to do. And even much more, make sure you're building on a firm foundation, right? Other than that, thank you guys for tuning into Las Vegas United. We will catch you on our next episode.
Our show is hosted by Pastor Dada Presley from Connection Church LV. To learn more about him and his ministry, please visit myconnectionlv.org. The guest this week is Senior Chaplain Michael Thrower from Adopt a Cop, Nevada. For more information, please visit adoptacopnevada.org. Thanks for watching our broadcast. Las Vegas United is produced by CTNVegas. For more information about CTNVegas and our show, please visit ctnvegas.com.